Hello and welcome to the Assetto Corsa Competizione Sim Series. We are here for a very unprepared stream, not at Spa as the video would show, but at the Nürburgring. And we are in the middle of qualifying right now from this very controversial track in the Eiffel Mountains, one that despite the great affection it brings out of many, is not always loved, especially the GP circuit, which its connections to the Nordschleife make it fondly remembered in many people's hearts. But here we are with just a few minutes left in qualifying. Sam Fleety taking the pole. Good to see a different man up the top compared to normally Jamie Nuttall, as we saw a lot last season. And good to see the Audi, the new Evo, up there as well. He's not the only man in the new Audi. We have a few of them throughout the field. A lot of BMW still, and quite a few Lexi. Not as many as in some of the lower splits. Lexi really picking up in the lower splits. We then have Nuttall in his new choice, the Bentley. Steve Hughes back in the Bentley as well, joining him in that. Guillaume Hamling in his new Ferrari. Shane Thomas and Ollie Henley both jumping into the McLaren for this series. And then Glendy Dionysus bringing in Aston Martin along with Richard Christie. So hopefully we'll still see an Aston Martin up there fighting near the top. Alvarado in his Honda, as always. Mohamed Akram, first of the BMW so far. And we have to go quite far until we see another car. We've got Cool and Tellers in the Mercedes, and Robu, the highest of the Porsches, right now in 24th. And this is all of our drivers. So 24 drivers in the Pro Split for Season 13. Here is Sam Fleety in a nice, actually, undercoat there for his Cracked Racing liveries. I clearly haven't updated the liveries close enough to the stream to have caught them all. I apologise for that. I'm not sure syncing now will actually help, but I'll do it now just in case. But yeah, either way, shout out to Sam Fleety for having at least a nice livery underneath. And quite a few late additions actually. A few new liveries since I last updated, so hopefully that'll be more complete next week. But we've got some nice lookers anyway. Jamie Nuttall back in his Bentley, the same livery that we saw last time, in second place right now, almost 2 tenths below Sam Fleety, but with a faster second sector. Here we have the once again, just like the circuit, very controversial anime livery of Nicholas Alvarado, and then Lister RM, some sort of lemon-looking thing, lime for Henley. Is that Shane next to him? I don't know what Shane's looks like. Yeah, it is Shane next to him there. A very colourful livery. Just behind Glendy. Glendy actually with a very similar colour, both rocking the ACCSS yellow stylings. And we have a couple of Lexi going. Nobody looking to build any huge improvements right now within the top 10. Andy at the back of this little pack from 7th to 9th might be able to jump up through them as long as he doesn't validate climbing a lot over the curbs. Lost a little bit of time there through the last corner. He's going to jump up to 6th or 7th. There we go. And now basically everyone is going green because they're all just setting off on their last lap. A couple of people already giving up as they've not been gaining time through the first couple of corners. I really need to sort out my broadcast settings for ACC. The little, I don't know if how badly it comes across on screen, but the little sort of anti-aliasing artifacts that we get now since they changed everything in 1.8 really start to annoy me a little bit. So if anyone has any advice on what the setting is to fix those, as Kunos Temporal AA doesn't seem to cut it anymore, I will be all ears. Here's Shane Thomas. He's following Ollie Henley round. Ollie Henley, who is pretty much on his lap time, not getting any sort of big improvement. Shane Thomas, however, reaching towards 3 tenths up as he comes through Schumacher. These are the last runs. So if anyone improves, it will have to be now. Akram in the 36 is also up, but he's behind Shane, so we will stick on board with this one for now. Guillaume Hamlin in a Ferrari is a 10th and a half up in the number 11. He's going to be coming around first. Ollie Henley getting out of the way. So Guillaume Hamlin loses it in the last corner. Shane Thomas does not lose it in the last corner. Gains a little bit through the chicane. Drops it back through the last corner. Is losing it out down the straight, but does still manage to get just behind Gleddy up into 8th position. Could have gone a little bit higher there if he hadn't got the last corner messed up, but that is quite an easy one to do so on. So Sam Fleety is going to take pole in the first of our races. So we're going to hop to some quick adverts. Thank you all for coming here. I know we haven't had many streams, so we haven't perhaps got people used to watching again these weekends, but obviously our other broadcasters are giving up their time for free, so we don't expect any more from them. I'll see you back for our grid walk. So as we line up for the start of our evening's entertainment, Sam Fleety in the brand new Audi is taking pole position ahead of the championship winner of the last 2 seasons of ACCSS Pro Series, Jamie Nuttall, in his championship winning Bentley. Nicholas Alvarado puts the Honda into 3rd position. He's done really good in qualifying last season, but didn't manage to complete many of the races in such a high position, so we'll see if he can manage it this time. Ollie Henley back in the McLaren this season, lines up beside him. Hamid Akram, old name to ACCSS, is welcomed back to the grid. I know he has a livery that he added late, and I don't seem to have that, so apologies for him, but we'll have that next time. Jack Harvey in his trusty Lexus in 6th position ahead of Glendy Dionysis, who is also back after a couple of seasons of not being here. He's the leading Aston ahead of Shane Thomas. Fotis Glanos is in 9th position ahead of Dan Jr., who's Dave Jr. I'm sorry, I can't remember your first name. Foster just behind him, 2 black cars probably with liveries as well, ahead of Steve Hughes, and then Guillaume Hamling. Raven Ingle in the last 2 points playing position so far ahead of Walters, another Audi. Cool in the first of the Mercedes, Ressa Christie. Wetschelberg, who switched to BMW, Octavian Robutellas, Benjamin Horiot, and then the last car we have here, Miro. Thank you for sticking with us, and we'll see you afterwards. Welcome back for the start of the first race of our 13th season in the Assetto Corsa ACCSimSeries. We are watching the first four in our race: Fleety, Nuttall, Alvarado, Henley, Akram and Harvey just behind him and in the bottom of shot. Glennie and Shane Thomas. Pretty even start for all of them, actually a little bit slow for Shane and quite good for Jack Harvey in the Lexus. He's going to dive to the inside. First two feeling pretty safe here. Oh, the consistent closing up that we always see into the first corner. But doesn't look like too much of a nightmare. There we go. Galanos is round, so he is the first of our fallers. The only faller, it seems like, so far. Oh, Jamie Nuttall's out. Jamie Nuttall has spun around. This is big for the championship leader from last time. He's going to get back right at the end. And this leaves Sam Fleety well out in the lead with Alvarado behind Ollie Henley, chased by Jack Harvey into the last of the podium positions. Gonna have to see a little while later exactly how the incident for our leader came about, but for now we have side by side the two BMWs, Akram and Junior really trying to put the pace onto Akram here, who's slowed up quite a bit from those behind him. Glennie as well, he's getting a little tiny tap from Shane Thomas behind. Oh, Steve Hughes sticking his nose in there as well, right into the back of this pack. These guys, so close. Really hard to get around anyone here. And so these sort of bottlenecks can stick for quite a while. Oh, Steve getting a little bit scared there. On the inside, Dave Jr. trying a big one through the chicane. Not great to go flare. You see Glennie falling around as well. But we're all fine for now. A little bit of a problem with my live timing, unfortunately, but we'll keep watching it for now, just from what we can see. Steve Hughes now leading this little pack. Looks like Rainaretta just behind him, and perhaps Raven. Yep, that is him. Walters then is leading this big pack of Audis. Big running through here in the back. Just going to try and reset my live timing so that I can keep up with this. I get the times up hopefully. Oh, big run off there from the Audi. He's only just managing to survive. Is this ACC's? Okay, it might be ACC's fault. Hold on, guys. I need to fix this for a second. Okay, we are back. ACC decided to stop sending any data to my broadcasting tool, but we have returned. So Sam Fleety is in the lead after all of that came out. Nicholas Alvarado in second place, with his last lap being the fastest lap of the race of 1:54.9 as the pit window opens. Ollie Henley just behind him in third position. You can see just getting out into the line nice and early. We then have Jack Harvey doing a good job out in fourth position. All that chaos behind has thrown a lot of people off of the track. Steve Hughes in fifth position is leading this sort of second train. He's starting to pull away a little bit from everyone else, and then there is just an absolute plug of cars behind him. Reina Ressa leading Bart Raven there. Dominic Ingle then in a lovely Mountain Dew liveried Lexus just ahead of Dave Jr. It is Dave Jr. and Adam Foster, both in BMWs. We saw one of these two coming into contact with, I believe it was Mohamed Akram, who was leading that little pack before. Glendy Dionysus, who also got caught up in that incident coming over the chicane, is now just ahead of Guillaume Hamling in the Ferrari. We can see Jamie Nuttall going in for an early pit. And then the first of the Mercedes just behind them. Oh, coming back here, Nicholas Alvarado and Ollie Henley clearly been fighting Jack Harvey right up on the back of them now as well. So let's throw this into a quick replay and see what happened. It seems like through the last corner, the McLaren had jumped the Honda. And Alvarado trying to come around the outside. Little door banging, but nothing too bad there. It's on the inside for this corner, so he thinks he can get that well. And then, oh, just nudges out. That was the tiniest of just a little kiss, just a little peck on the cheeks there. But that lost the stability of Oliver's McLaren and sent him to the back of this little pack, where Nicholas Alvarado really seems to be struggling with race pace here because Jack Harvey is right on his cheeks. So these three are still in a nice big battle, but behind them is the real big train of cars. Sam Fleety has been allowed to pump well out because Nuttall went round, and Alvarado has been holding up everyone else ahead. Dominic Ingle around as well. Here is the incident with him. Oh, he's been a little bit slow through Schumacher, so it looks like, I think that's Junior in the BMW behind him, trying to go around the outside. Doesn't quite make it. And then tries to go on the inside for the next corner. Oh, nice. Oh, it was nice clean racing there, but then a jerk from the BMW sends the Lexus into the wall. Someone else goes around with him, but I didn't really catch who that was. It must be the car behind him, Junior. Oh, he's going into the pits. He had some sort of issue after there as well that we didn't see, probably sent flying the other way or something. So that's going to be a second driver to have completed his pits nice and early. Then let's sit on board Ollie Henley for a little bit, chasing down these two. A bad exit there, so going defensive into the hairpin. We're going to see them side by side. Not really any chance of going around the outside there, but Jack Harvey's going to brake early and try to close it in for the inside. Alvarado sticks himself onto the apex. He holds that position for just a little bit longer. So while these three are fighting, further down the pack we have a few more battles, a lot of people close. You can see Glendy right behind Foster's here, just a bit further up. Raven is still chasing Ressa, and then further down we have this little freeway, Guillaume Hamling leading an Audi there, so that must be Horriot, I believe. Oh no, Walters. Walters has turned up there. I didn't see where he was, my bad. Then we have Cool, followed by Shane Thomas, who's going to want to climb back up the pack. And another incident here with Akram, apparently. Or maybe he just went on the grass a little bit and... oh, that's not a good exit. Oh, for his... or entry even, for his sake, I hope the stewards don't see that. Because that was very much a late entry. Yeah. He's if he gets caught for that, it's going to be fully penned for him. So, super close racing through here with this pack, but Nürburgring, as we see, doesn't really offer many opportunities to make safe moves. We've seen many more crashes than anything else. Tom, my race control did go down at some point. The game just stopped sending data to it, so I had to restart my game, and that has brought everything back. So if yours has died, that would be why as well. So starting to spread out a little bit there. Rainer Resser especially breaking away from this pack, but Foster can't quite pull away from Glendy in the same way. So, a lot of corners at the Nürburgring can really invite sends. We sit with Guillaume Hamlin. Oh no, that is not the way, Guillaume. So he's well out there. Shane Thomas also seems to have been there at some point and is now going to take that excuse to dive into the pits. Let's just take a very quick look at how he did it. Oh, he also went wide there. Interesting. Is he going to... Wall? Ah, wall. I've got to find someone else who is following someone now. We'll sit on board with Aston Martin. Going through the Mercedes Stadium section. Nowhere really to overtake here. But one of the places that can invite some aggressive moves if you get too close, because people have to sort of swing out wide to get the turn in on those two corners. Now moving into sort of the second sector, or that's actually the end of the first sector. This is basically single file, and it all comes down to the hairpin. The hairpin is a really hard place to make a move, but it is one of the options. If you can get a better exit from the end of Sector 1 there, you can dive through on the inside. But it is a tricky one to pull off. Then Schumacher's obviously being flat. Or almost flat, can set up some mistakes. So if you're a little bit more flat than someone else, can look on the inside here, but it's a real hard one to make it happen. A lot of runoff from the outside, so it should be possible, but it just doesn't end up happening that much. And then we're on to what I think is the fakest of the falsest of false prophets here, is the chicane. I can see a yellow flag further up there. It looks like we can actually probably get a perfect example of what I'm on about here. Because through these last two corners you can get a bit of a better run from someone, and it seems like such a long straight into a big braking zone. It seems like it should be an overtaking opportunity, but I feel like this is the king of the false prophets on this track. Doesn't look like he goes for it though. He's just going to take too much speed into there. That's how Bart goes round. Unfortunate for Bart. Will he save himself too much agony? He spins himself around quite nice. And then, yeah, down into 15th. So turn 1 really is the big opportunity here. Or obviously a mistake from someone ahead. And we've seen plenty of mistakes, especially into that chicane. People going in too fast, taking too much curb. So Guillaume is chasing Cool, and then further up the road, Glenny is still chasing Foster. These two have been locked side by side for quite a while. Further down, Nuttall is leading those who have pitted, so still pretty good, although Shane Thomas obviously was thrown down the order quite a lot before he pit, so he is there just ahead of Dave Jr. We'll have to keep an eye on these two if they make a move. Glenny again. Glenny seems to have the issue, right? The issue where he's just faster in all the wrong places. He's faster than Foster everywhere where he can't overtake. And at the critical moments of the track, Foster just has him. We'll see if Glenny makes a move into the chicane here. If he's going to go for it, he basically needs to be passed by the time you get into the chicane. Going to the outside is not really the answer, I don't think. Yeah, and there we go. You see, in order to keep it clean, you just have to go so slowly that your opponent can take the opportunity from that and dive through in front of you. Doesn't lose too much time though, so it wasn't necessarily a bad move to make, as long as you can, as long as you're confident that you won't get into some sort of bigger issue. Comes down into the first corner. Nothing there either. Walters here, eyeing this battle intently, because obviously he's going to want to make a move if he can. Further up, Henley is back onto the back of Alvarado. Jack Harvey fallen out of this battle a little bit. Dave Jr. also looks like he might have the pace to challenge Shane Thomas soon, so that is another one we have to keep an eye on. Well, this one we should have the old school passenger one, because I don't have the thing. So, I'm going to have a quick check into the stewarding sheet. No penalties have been applied yet, but it looks like there are 3 penalties on the way. One that is very obvious. It looks like there is going to be a 10-second penalty coming in for Alvarado for tapping around Nuttall in the beginning. That incident we saw with him and oh, it was him and 26. Who's 26? Oh no, it's him and 15. Whoa! Yeah, through the chicane there, more of what I'm talking about, the danger there, and then on the inside, Glenny tries to make it round, goes into the Audi. We'll have to watch that again from a better camera. Hopefully we can get in the chicane as well here. So Glenny, once again, goes for the falsest of false prophets moves around the outside, tries to stick it in a bit stronger. Oh, the BMW, both of them just trying to brake play, ends up going around, and then he doesn't realise that the Audi has stuck his nose in. The Audi breaking off as soon as he realises he gets turned in on, and not too bad happens there. That could have been a lot worse. Shout out to Andre for 8 months support. Thank you, my friend. Goes towards DT's server costs to keep the practice servers all running and all good. So it's 420 and 15, yeah, so it is that Ollie Henley tap that we saw. That is an unfortunate one. I don't think it was... He's only getting a 5-second for it, which I think is sort of reasonable, although I would have said less personally. Junior has a drive-through. That was not given by our stewards. Our stewards actually, I believe, gave him a 10-second for spinning Ingle, which we saw as well. But then he has gotten himself a drive-through. He'd already pit, so I assume that is for track limits. It must be for track limits. Further up the front, no one making any moves into the chicane. Junior crossing to do a drive-through, crosses the pit line again, so going to be a lot of those coming in. They might come in later if there was a few stuff to do earlier. Ooh, Glenny's looking for it again, but not making it. Was that another look through the chicane? Well, we won't look back at it because he is now side by side with Walters, and Walters even has the inside, and this is going into turn 1 where you can actually send a good overtaking move. Late braking for Glenny, throws it round, leaves space on the inside, but this is probably going to be good for Glenny because he is on the inside now for the next corner. He gave a tap to the Audi there, but didn't look like he went out too wide. He was seemed pretty well set up. So yeah, hello Adam. You're going to be looking at a lot of pit lanes, I assume. A lot of pit entries we've been seeing here. Niels Cool in the leading Mercedes, only just ahead of Tellers. There's quite a big gap on the track, but positioning-wise, they are next to each other. Yeah, Fleety absolutely running away from this. 1:54.8, the fastest lap of the race. And he set a different 54.8 last lap, just to make things easy. His closest rival right now is Nicholas Alvarado, who has 15 seconds of penalties. And right now is seemed to be leading this train of Ollie Henley and Jack Harvey. Nicholas Alvarado also sent around Jamie Nuttall on the first lap. Means that it's been quite plain sailing for Sam Fleety. Decent bit of chaos early on, throwing people around. There, Alvarado dives into the pits. Just 8 minutes before halfway into the race, so quite an early pit stop. Going to be Guillaume going into the pits as well in the Ferrari. But he feels like he's losing time behind Niels Cool there, and Glenny is having to defend from the Audi that, despite what Guillaume says, seems to be pretty nice on the straight from how everyone has been finding it. Now the Audi dives around the outside, and this is quite a good one. This is actually one of the things I said was a problem with Nürburgring the last time F1 came here. Almost an exact replica of how these two raced in last time, but this time obviously Walt was coming out first. Turn 1 is sort of a corner that you don't want to defend, because being on the outside does seem to often be the better take, amazingly. We've just seen that there with Walters as well, and now NEC's with Cool right behind him. So he has gone very quickly from predator to prey. Oh, that is not what you want to do there, Glenny. But once again, it's the heading towards the false prophet corner here. Mercedes once again going to dive for the outside, but he might be able to get all the way around before the corner, which is the only way to do it, really, and he's done it. So the mistake from Glenny has sent him right to the back of this pack, and now Cool has the opportunity to try and make up more time towards the others. Walters, after getting past Glendy, looking on Foster next for 6th position. Further back, Bart, as I know he's got a few fans in chat, is chasing down Octavian Robu. Oh, we've got another one, boys. Is this just a lone bin through the chicane? It looks like it is. There's been less punts through the chicane than I would normally expecting, but there's been plenty of bins through here. Here we go, we can get into another replay. How did this one happen? Whoa, already alongside deep into the Schumacher S's. That is not somewhere you often see a move. So just pure pace advantage. Good job there from Bart. He's now got Glenny as his next charge up. Tellers is in the pits. That has got some of our drivers up further. Got to give a shout out here to Jamie Nuttall. Jamie Nuttall, after getting punted out early, has been really pounding on the times. He is ahead of Nicholas Alvarado after the pit stops. So after being pushed around by the Argentinian driver into the Mercedes section on the first lap, he is ahead. And Fleety was obviously quite a way on track ahead of Alvarado, but that means that we now can see that Nuttall is likely still in P2 in this race, amazingly. Likely still in P2 in this race. Walters there, having to put in some avoidance action in the typical new Audi problem, actually diving down the inside as well. The Mercedes must have just had an awful exit. Perhaps really did brake too soon. I was just about to say about how good the new Audi's brakes are. But he just drives right past him. Great move there from Walter, and Foster's now has Cool right on his back. Wendy settling in behind them. Further down the back, Richard Christie has just come out of the pits, right slap bang ahead of Shane Thomas. Better exits there. Seems like Foster having a little bit of trouble at this point. Might see the Mercedes making a move into turn one. Looking for the inside, but doesn't have the pace to do it. Wendy right there to capitalise on anything that goes wrong. Kevin Robu also has a 10-second penalty. It's given that for braking very late in capital letters and taking out tellers apparently. And all over the back of us now. It looks like Foster just is having some pace issues at this point of the race. Maybe needs to pit in for new tyres, but if he's having issues with that, he'll be waiting for the halfway mark to go. Apologies if you just got an ear for the motorbike. If we look at all the BMWs up front, apart from Bart Raven, they do all seem to be doing lower times. Miro as well, actually. Miro and Bart Raven still doing good times. And more cars going over the red and white lines there, so yeah. I guess the stewards are not worrying about the entry lines for the pro race, I guess. Possible that one of them forgot to mention it in the briefing, so they're just not going with it. So, big group of cars pitting now. Hughes, Cool, Dionysius, Robu. We're going to have to see how this all plays out. None of these really threatening the absolute front of the field, but Steve Hughes, as you can see on the timing tower in game, was in 4th position before he went into the pit, so we stuck up there a bit because the pit stops on this track are past the line. Steve Hughes has come out just behind car 259, that's Benjamin Horriot. So is he actually in front of Nuttall? They're going to be close, I assume. Yeah, there he is. Just come out behind Nuttall. That is an interesting one. So Alvarado had 15-second slow pit stop. There we go, that's why. So Nuttall wasn't quite as high up as I thought it was. Alvarado perhaps repairing damage. He was stopped for 47 seconds rather than the 32 seconds that the other two were stopped. So Ollie Henley and Jack Harvey still looking like they might be able to get out ahead of Jamie Nuttall. We are now right in the middle of the race at that sort of easy period where so many have pit. We've had so many who haven't pit that we're sort of all of our fights have been broken up. There are many fights directly for position that aren't directly on track, but we have Jack Harvey. Jack Harvey and Rainer Rest come into the pits. Both of these will be interesting. We've got Walters and Foster as well, but the Jack Harvey one is the most interesting one to look at because he was ahead of Steve Hughes by a decent margin, who Steve Hughes came out to pit and was just behind Jamie Nuttall. So when Jamie Nuttall comes around the corner, we are expecting, due to the sort of time differences, Jack Harvey, as long as he has a good pit stop, to be ahead of the other car. He should start moving about now if he's had a good stop. He hasn't had a good stop. Had to repair a little bit, but it wasn't awful. He's only just got going, however, but he is out the pit lane. So he's just ahead, because there he is, and there is Jamie Nuttall and Steve Hughes. Now it comes down to, obviously, lap times to compare them to Ollie Henley, who is going to come up to Octavian Robu soon. Cool with a stop-go 30, presumably for speeding in the pits. Junior has got up to 20 seconds of penalties now coming in from our stewards for multiple incidents. So Henley's last lap was a 54.9. Pretty good pace. He's not lacking for pace right now. And then we've got a couple of guys on their outlaps. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go. Nuttall's last was a 55.4. Not looking bad for Henley. Henley is looking safe. Fleety in the pits. Henley takes the lead of the race. Yeah, Raven with a drive-through as well. So that's another one of track cut. People going too hard through that chicane. Or actually it might be speeding, because he has just come out of the pits, so I actually think that that one's probably speeding in the pit lane. Miro also in the pits, so it's just Henley now who is out here. And just to confirm what we already knew, Fleety coming down into turn 1 right as Jack Harvey crosses the finish line. Jack Harvey crossed the finishing line. That was his outlap, so pretty slow. Nuttall 155.4. Hughes 155.4. Not fast enough to put any pressure on Ollie Henley right now. And there we go, Henley into the pits. We're not going to get to compare his time to anyone, but looking at the time set looking good for him to stay out. Jack Harvey is 5/10 up on his delta. Not sure what that delta will be though. If it is his fastest lap, and he is putting in a stormer, but I don't reckon it will be. Yeah, agree with you there, Christopher. We've had, in all of our splits, we've had a nice collection of manufacturers here. Either the balance of the game is being very consistent recently, or just people, nothing quite OP enough that everyone has to gravitate towards it. I guess Sam Fleety comes out around the last corner. Well, Harvey is still looking like a really good lap time. I don't think it's going to be enough. There we go. Ollie Henley is already leaving his pit stall, and he has the first pit stall as Jack Harvey comes around the back. But I think this is going to be a really good lap time. Yeah, right on the low 55s, but not quite enough. So, it hasn't corrected yet, but Ollie Henley is in second position. Do not believe the lying timing tower. Sam Fleety in first. Dominic Ingle, after being murdered, is on a little bit of a comeback drive up to Weschelberg. Best lap time right now is a 54.8. And then there are a couple of people on 54.9s. 54.8 by Fleety, 54.9 by Henley, 54.9 by Nuttall, and 54.9 by Alvarado. Big shouts to Nuttall, getting back up to 4th position, still just keeping it ahead of Steve Hughes. He has come back. He has come back mightily in this race so far. Yeah, Nuts in the chat, Nuts out for Null. But Sam Fleety really has dominated this race. Just set a 54.7 to cut down that fastest lap that I just told you. Huge pace here from the Audi man. I don't know who won yesterday. Can I find this out? I want to see how many Audis won. We don't have a huge amount of close battles on the track right now. We'll sit on board with Dominic Ingle, who's closing up to Weschelberg. So, bronze of gold, obviously an Audi 1 rookies. Gold was won by a McLaren. Bronze was won by a McLaren, so McLaren's doing really well as well in some of the other splits. Interesting. I think it could be close to turn 1, but I think that was a little bit scary. And that is Tellers as well, right ahead of them, so this is a 3-person battle. And the last one I need to look at is Silver. I'm not sure what car won Silver, but I think it was a BMW. With a Lexus. So this is going to be the second Audi victory of the week. Tying Audi in victories with McLaren. An interesting one. Not a huge amount of McLarens in here, but Ollie Henley obviously taking that McLaren to second. also have development one more close battle in there. Guillaume Hamling is closing up to Reina Ressa for 7th position, so we'll keep an eye on that. The lone Ferrari representative in our top split. Oh, we've had a spin from Wetzelberg. I'm glad that for once I switched to a Ferrari and it wasn't the Ferrari who spun, someone else, but for Wetzelberg's sake, I am very sad. You just take too much of the curb through the last part of Mercedes. Perhaps. Yep, too much into there. Oh! Not too fast into the wall there. A little bit slow, just turbo kicks in and the back end goes a little bit loose. But here we go, Ferrari. We're going to see the straight line speed of the Ferrari here come against the BMW. Where's the pink boy? Going to be nice and safe. This is real nice and close here for Guillaume Hamling. How long is this stint from Reina Ressa? Can I tell that from here? I thought I could, but I don't know if I can. Either way, possible. I think it's unlikely that the BMW was giving him issues already. Especially not around here, it's not exactly a smoggy with the fire. Nice. Very shane right now. He's in 11th, so he's in the point scoring. He's pulling his way up into a top 10 with the McLaren 55.7, his last lap time. So, but not quite enough to catch Walters at his pace right now. Over at the back. Mentioning Galanos is actually yeah, on track, or is my thing just showing he has pit the pace on him? No, maybe he in game he still has a pit left. Okay. Steve Hughes. There might have been a little mistake there from Nuttall, because Steve Hughes has suddenly jumped to within a second of the other Bentley driver. As we come through turn 1. Oh, nice and close. No moves happening yet. Steve Hughes right on the back of Nuttall still. Worried he might fall off, but he's actually closed in. We've got 2 scraps going on now towards the end of the race, but Raven as well, catching up to Wetzelberg after Wetzelberg's spin. Unlikely one, but there is a small possibility that the Kessel Racing Ferrari is thrown down the inside into the hairpin. We've got to keep them a watch just in case. You can see Glendy coming in there in the background. He's been putting on some good pace. He's actually, last lap was faster than these two. So if Guillaume can't make the move, I'd say next time round into turn 1, he's going to start having an Aston Martin to deal with as well. 420 round, the Alvarado into the wall. All on his own, the Honda. Oh, up on the grass. A lost there of the car. Oh, not a big one into the wall. But not what you want either. Down into 6th. Or he was in 6th position. Has it changed at all? No, he is still in 6th position. Guillaume Hamlin going side by side with the BMW into the hairpin. Clear chicane even makes it work. That is impressive, as I've been mocking the overtaking potential into that chicane the whole time. He's right on the inside. We saw a lot of other people going to the outside, which I do believe is not the way. Gives the Bentley just enough room. Bentley even leans on him a little bit. Nice racing there by both of them, managing to get side by side through that chicane without incident. BMW tries to come back at him through turn 1, but being on the outside through turn 1 is really nice, as I mentioned before. So Guillaume just smartly doesn't defend into there. Comes out the other side fine. Reina Ressa now, he went for the comeback into turn 1, which is a smart move, but unfortunately after not making that, he has quite a way to go before he has any real chance. And that puts Glendy right on his back. Glendy was faster than these guys when they were fighting earlier, so we don't expect to see him going anywhere now that the fight has subsided. Steve Hughes just keeping in touch with Jamie Nuttall. Falling back a tiny bit. Foster has caught up to Christie. Raven on the back of Weschelberg. So these are two other battles that we could see come into consideration. Christie, lucky that he chose that livery, because I didn't update the liveries close enough to this event to catch everyone's, but I had this from Ollie Henley already, so that's a good one. So sort of settled down. Glendy not close enough to make any sort of crazy moves quite yet. We'll have to check here for the crazy moves. Adam Foster. Not quite close enough to the Aston Martin either, so it looks like everything's going to end up being a turn 1 affair if it does happen. So that last lap, Guillaume was slightly faster than Alvarado ahead of him, not by a huge amount. And that was the first lap after Alvarado's little mistake, so we'll see if this is just the pace of Alvarado now, if he's taken a bit too much damage to go any faster, or if that was just his first lap gaining confidence again. But we could be seeing Alvarado brought into a fight here, and possibly losing his 6th position. Lenny sees the BMW being slow, tries to dive for the outside. A bit of a risky one there. Not likely to make it round, but hopefully he can slow the BMW down enough. A little bit of body contact, but nothing too bad. Flips in. That's a very good move from Glendy. Not often that you see anything made around that section of the track. Probably could have gone for a little bit of a longer replay there, but nice move either way. Side-by-side action between these two. Raven, it looks like, had a go Weschelberg there that we saw just before the replay ended. Have a look here, the Aston Martin of Richard Christie. In a similar section of the track. That little glitch there was just me coming out of the replay from before. So it looks like down into the hairpin is where the move is made. Does he just go wide and get overtaken out of it? Yeah, way wide there, right onto the dirty stuff. Foster just slots in ahead of him. We got to the end of the race, the last 10 minutes, and suddenly we have a bunch of cars together. Steve Hughes right behind Jamie Nuttall again, putting on a little bit of pressure in the fellow Bentley. Walters there. Oh, pressuring Reina Ressa. Reina has lost to Hamling and Dionysus now. And is Walters looking to get down on him. Shane Thomas as well behind has got the pace to catch these guys, so this might become an absolute hell of the last race for Reina Ressa. Richard Christie following Foster now, having lost that position. And Bart Raven, we missed the overtake, but he has taken Nicholas Weschelberg and is back up into 18th. Steve Hughes 2 temps up from Jamie Nuttall. And actually has... oh no, he does have a slower... I almost read that wrong. He does have a slower best lap. Sweetie Henley, Harvey, Nuttall and Alvarado all now have laps in under 55 seconds. 1 minute 55. Whoa! Bit of a mistake there. Yet we have 2 drivers have left so far. Cool is one of them. I don't know who the other is. Glanos obviously sitting in the pits after getting taken out early on. So if we count him, we've had 3. Walters on the BMW, trying to get a pull out of here. Guillaume told me the Audi wasn't great on the straights, but he seemed pretty nice. Honestly, you see the Audi brakes. Look at that. Audi brakes, really fantastic on this 2nd generation Audi Evo. It's a weird way to say it, because obviously it's the 3rd generation Audi, but Steve Hughes clearly has the pace. Right now, at this part of the race, clearly has the pace on Jamie Nuttall, because he made that mistake and fell back, and he has managed to claw that time in again. But it comes to whether he can make the overtake. As down on overtaking at Nürburgring as I have been, we've seen some good ones today. We've seen some mighty moves made. But I think we're going to have to see a mistake from Jamie Nuttall for anything to happen for these big beasts of cars. Seven minutes left for Jamie Nuttall to defend. Steve Hughes there, taking a lot of grass, putting his nose out just to assert dominance there in this battle. Oh! There's been a move made. That is an unlikely place to make a move. Let's go and look at that one again. Must have been a mistake from Alvarado somewhere. Alvarado, after taking that damage, just does not have the pace, doesn't have the confidence in that car. Oh, that big kick. You could just see it on the edge. Big kick, and that slowed him down a ton. So once again, a mistake leading to a pass. Gets on the inside for the king, can just absolutely soars past. Alvarado looking to fight back, but Guillaume Hamling staying ahead. Alvarado all over his backside, trying to overtake a bit off track there. The grass not doing him well, but he's going to be diving down onto the inside into this corner. Can he keep it clean? Guillaume gives him a lot of space. Alvarado stays nicely around the outside. They are side by side through this whole sector of the track, which is not going to be great for either of them. Alvarado looks like he gets a little bit of a better run from there. But Guillaume looking for the inside on the hairpin, perhaps. Nope. So good work by both of them to not come into contact through there. And Alvarado, after that mistake, has taken back his position. Got Steve Hughes still up ahead. And once again, as we've seen so many times, as we enter the last 5 minutes of this race, Glendy is coming up on the back of a battle. Seems if you spend too long battling in this race, you're going to end up with that bright yellow Aston Martin bearing down on you. Ferrari right on the back of the Honda. Wants to look for a move here, but Glendy actually is getting out rather early. Just putting his nose there, nothing happening. Oh, another mistake there from Hughes. He's clearly got the pace. Just can't make the move. Every time we're seeing him fall back. Oh, we're back! As soon as I start looking away, another slow exit from a corner for Alvarado, and that allows the Ferrari up the inside into the next corner at the end of Sector 1. Lips in on, and now he's got to worry about Glendy as well. More cars coming up behind them as well. It looks like, yeah, that's the battle between Rainer-Esser and Walters. They're getting incredibly close to here too. Super close here between these two. Nothing quite able to happen. The pace is clearly there. Quick look just to remind you all, in case you've forgotten, Sam Fleety is in this race. So as I was talking about earlier, this fight here between Walters and Ressa has been joined by Shane Thomas. He does have the pace to claw his way up a little bit further. Whether he has the pace to actually make the move stick without a mistake, it's there to see, because it's been tricky. Ooh, Raven trying to have a go on Ingle as well. These guys were side by side into turn 1 for a little bit. Not long for anyone to make moves now. We've got a few moves looking to be made. A lot of grass taken there for Steve Hughes. So looks like nothing going to happen there, but we are very close into the chicane, slightly further back. Shane clearly with the pace on these guys. There is still one more lap to go. We're going to have 2 fights in a row going into turn 1. Alvarado looks too far back to make a move. This is where Shane Thomas can go for it. Puts his nose out there to be a little bit scary. Audi deep on the brakes, has to avoid hitting the BMW. That's that new Audi problem. So Shane Thomas 1 lap left to get P9, but he's made it back up into the top 10. Oh, we've had another one here made. How's this? Oh, too much curb. Typical Ferrari problems there. Typical Ferrari problems. Too much curb. Tries to look back into the hairpin, but nothing coming over there. Sam Fleety takes the win. Ollie Henley takes a clear second from Jack Harvey. And Steve Hughes chasing down Jamie Nuttall for fourth, but not going to be able to make anything stick. Alvarado is going to come in sixth again, ahead of Hamling and Glendy. 7th and 8th. So after a messy afternoon, Alvarado comes back with still a decent result of P6. And then as these guys come across the line, Reina Ressa just behind them, followed by Shane Thomas, who's managed to claw his way back up to 10th, and Walters in the Audi. Foster's followed home by Christie. And then Miro in 14th. And your final point scoring position will be Octavian Robu. So shout out to all these guys, obviously especially Sam Fleety, for the commanding win of this race. What are all these boring people in the pits doing? Where are the spinnies? There are the spinnies. Good job to everyone who did spinnies after the race, rather than returning to the pits like a pleb. Here we go. We can give you the times immediately because there are no penalties to worry about, although a few people have left the server already. Obviously that kind of ruins things a bit. There we go. Grab the Mercedes, so we still have some spinnies in the background, hopefully. Sam Fleety wins from Ollie Henley, Jack Harvey, Jamie Nuttall, Steve Hughes, Nicholas Alvarado, Guillaume Hamling, Glendy Dionysus, Reina Ressa, Shane Thomas, Walters, Foster, Christie, Miro, and Robu, taking your last 5 points paying positions. So thank you to everyone for coming out to chill with us. And yeah, it was good to see you all in the chat. Thank you for everyone who's been tippity typing on those keyboards of yours. Thank you for everyone new. Remember, this season we will only consistently have broadcasts on Sunday. We will not have a broadcast next Sunday because the GT World Challenge Europe event at Brands Hatch will be on, and a lot of us will be there. If you are there, look around for some people. If you know what me or DT look like, we'll be there. And have a good time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Smell of rain into my bed and lie so close to me. You could be inside my head. Maybe it's a once in a lifetime kind of thing to feel the kind of magic that you're